So were the victims targeted at random, or could there have been a method to the madness? We found a common thread. For Brian Sugram, appearances were everything, in life, and maybe even in death.
He told me he stabbed her to death in the van. He told me he killed her because she reminded him of me.
It was a motive for murder that had investigators doing a double take.
He would start saying, I needed to take out my anger on somebody. I couldn't kill my wife.
Bernadette Sugram reflecting on the shocking death of a prostitute who just so happened to look like her and cross her husband.
He was like playing out the fantasy of what he really wanted to do on someone who didn't matter or who he couldn't be tied to.
Exactly. I can tell you without a doubt 100% that he would have killed me. He would have killed me. It was just a matter of time.
So do you think maybe in a way he was
practicing? Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, there are 2 murders in Kalamazoo County that are still unsolved from that same time. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but maybe not.
And one of the key things you look at is the similarities in looks between these victims and that of his wife.
Do you think he was the kind of guy who would kill multiple people that look like his wife?
I think so. I think he definitely had the ability. He had the time. He was in the area. I mean, everything fit.
According to the FBI, only about 1% of all murders in the U.S. can be tied to a serial killer. They say a serial killer tends to choose victims who are vulnerable and desirable to them. They fit some sort of pattern. Below the surface of Brian Sugram, doubles ran deep, a double crosser with double standards, taking lives at face value.
I think his victimology is very complex. I think that he would murder anybody who represented who he was angry at that time.
Rage with a ripple effect on unsuspecting strangers.
I think he can justify it in his mind as either being subhuman or this person deserved to die.
I didn't kill him. Maybe don't consider her anyone. She's nothing.
The vulnerable versions of his desired duplicates.
What did he tell you about that murder in New York?
He thought it was his father that night. He wanted to punish his father for the way that they grew up.
We had heard Brian wanted to kill his father, but Demetrius Carter was just easier and more expendable and there.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That he didn't like the father. I guess the father was too strict on him or whatever. Yeah, we knew about this issue about Carter also being, homosexual and having AIDS.
So he was going to die anyway, so his life didn't matter.
I think it might have been a little bit of both. I mean, who knows what's going through his head.
Detectives believe they caught Brian Sugram just in time, that the days of death doubles and practice victims were running out.
When we did a search warrant at his house, we found fake passports. So he was already trying to change his identity to his dead brother, Chris.
Explain to me why you're trying to change your identity. Explain that. What normal person who hasn't done anything wrong in his life needs to change their identity?
It appeared Brian was closing the book on doppelgangers by becoming one himself.
His goal eventually was to kill Bernadette Sugram, take the kids, and flee. There's no doubt about it. He was on his way out.